What's up, JD?
Hey, yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a Lions mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11, we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
All right, welcome to the NFL Roundtable Talks. I am your host, Smoking Jeremy B. I got Will Vogel, Jamie Malloy, and B.A. Who knows if we get chicken nugget or not, but I did send him the invite. How's everybody doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Good.
I'm fair.
So, did you see all the NFL rule changes that they are proposing?
I like the onside kick one.
Yes, I do, that you don't have to be behind to do it anymore. It's not limited.
Well, I mean, you still have to declare it, but it's baby steps. At least it's back to, you could do it at any point of the game.
Right, that's what I was saying.
Baby steps with that.
But I was going to go in a list. I have a list here, so let's start at the beginning. The first one is about emergency replay authority. We re-signed Jake Bates 3 weeks ago. Hello, Yoli. Didn't we tender his restricted free agent deal 3 weeks ago? It was, or ERFA with Jake Bates is what it was. It was 1.1 million. Maybe we signed him long term. Who knows?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. He just got signed long term.
So the Emergency Replay Authority, in anticipation of a potential referee labor dispute and a lockout, the current CBA expires on May 31st, 2026. The league proposes a one-year rule. This would allow the NFL Replay Center in New York to correct clear and obvious on-field officiating mistakes if replacement referees are used.
I agree with the replacement refs. I agree because they should have had it in 2012. We all know how bad the replacement refs were in 2012, and I think having it then could have helped. So at least this is a contingency plan in case with the replacement refs.
And just think, if it works, they may impose it longer.
Even when the regular refs eventually come back?
Because how many bad calls have we seen screw over teams? And I'm not calling out any one team. And let's put it this way. 2019, I got so fed up after that Tracy Walker deal where he was pushed and barely brushed Pat Mahomes. And they ended up getting a rushing touchdown from it because they got 15 yards and won the game. We were beating them. Pat Mahomes did not throw a single touchdown that game.
Yeah, I like that rule too. I think it's a solid one, and we'll see if it goes long term. And if it does, you know what? It may help the league.
This is the one Robbie's going to hate. Expanded disqualifications. Replay officials would be granted the power to consult with on-field refs to disqualify players for flagrant acts, both football and non-football related, even if no penalty was initially called on the field. This follows a 2025 incident where a player was not ejected for an altercation with a fan because officials missed the act.
And we all know what game.
Metcalf, anyone?
That's the DK rule, is it not?
Yeah.
All right. Anytime onside kicks. Building on recent adjustments, teams will be permitted to declare an onside kick at any point in the game, regardless of the score. Currently, this is restricted to trailing teams. I love this. What do you guys think?
Back to what it always was.
So wait, what rule are we going to? The DK rule, or are we going on this one now?
DK versus everyone, he says. Oh, no, that's Detroit versus everybody. But anyways.
What was the rule?
About At any point in the game, you can declare to go for an onside kick. You don't
Like
have
how
to
it
wait
used to be before they changed that.
You don't have to be trailing. You don't have to. You still got to announce it. I think that part's stupid, but at least now it's back to what it used to be. At any point in the game, you can call an onside kick.
You know
Right.
what? I agree with JB. It's stupid. You still have to announce it, but at least you can do it any part of the game now. So
I
it's
mean,
a tail.
it still don't matter.
It's a
It
double
still don't
sided.
matter because you still got to announce it. So it's still a stupid ass rule. It doesn't make a difference if they change it a little bit or not. You still have to announce it. It doesn't make up for that. I'm sorry. Just
No,
change that.
It doesn't make up for the surprise factor of the onside.
Yeah.
But
So Mike,
and then there's the kickoff alignment tweaks. The committee aims to modify receiving team's requirement in the setup zone. In other words, where the blockers are, reducing the minimum number of players required on the restraining line from 6 to 5. So in other words, instead of it being 6 people up front, you can have 5 and then 6 people back blocking to allow for better blocking for when the guys get up to where everybody is. And I think that's the right thing too, because right now it's 3 and 3 on each side, and it really didn't make a big of a difference in the beginning. It was better in the back end. So make the back end better so guys can get free.
I agree.
That's what they did.
well, they did. I mean, they did have that's just. I don't think it's necessarily for getting the kick run back. We had some dynamic kickbacks, punt returns and kickoff returns last year, but
That's
I think
because
this
they
is more
moved
of
the
a
touchback to the 35 instead of the 30.
That's coming up. But
safety.
there's a change.
I think it was a safety concern. That's the reason why they did that.
And the touchback adjustment from midfield during a kickoff, if there's a penalty where you get to kick it from the 50, now instead of, if it goes out of bounds, instead of them getting it at the 35, or if it goes into the end zone for the touchback, it actually comes out only out to the 20 again.
Fine with that.
And I agree with that one.
I'm fine
So
with that.
wait. Is that for the so the touchback's going to come out to the 20 now instead of the 35?
When there's a penalty on the original kickoff that moves the kicking team forward to the 50. That's what they're specifically talking about, that one.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Right, because at 50 yards, there's no way that somebody would have got out to the 35 unless they were damn near almost breaking one for a touchdown.
Right.
Yep. I agree.
Mhm.
JB.
Now the bylaw resolution proposals, extended draft pick trading, a proposal by, of all teams to propose this. The Cleveland Browns would allow teams to trade up to picks up to 5 years.
Same as the
Currently,
NBA. They do that in the NBA. That's why.
The current limit is 3. But if you think about it, rarely has anybody put that third year pick into a trade. It's usually just the first 2 years. But I think it's going to make for better trades later on if it does pass, and I'm going to explain why. Because then you don't have to give up your immediate future right away. You could say, hey, instead of a first and a second this year, I'm going to give you a first this year, wait 2 years and get a first.
Like how the NBA does that.
Right. But
Mhm.
the NBA, you've seen some stupid trades where somebody trades their whole draft picks from 5 years out and basically have like 2 picks in the entire draft.
Yeah, this is a good rule.
That's because the NBA only has 2. You got to remember, the NBA only has 2 rounds. The NFL.
Yeah, the second round is like 2 picks for each team is what it ends up being, and then it's done. But you know what I'm saying? You have 3 picks. You only get 3 picks, and then you're trading them all away in one season way down the road. It don't hurt you now, but when you get there and you got to re-sign everybody and you can't, and then you don't have any draft picks to fill, then you're going to the free agency pool where people cost more.
Well,
I thought the Saints.
They're
would,
just making
out of
this
all-
more like Madden all the time.
Mhm.
I didn't think I thought the Saints would propose that, because they've been in so many years of,
Cap
being
hell.
cap gel, but it was the Browns. Don't you think that sounds like something the Saints would have done?
Damn it.
I could see the Saints, but I'm not surprised it's the Browns.
So we're the Cleveland Browns.
We're the
fun.
Cleveland Browns. I love that skit. That guy's
I know.
a Chiefs. That guy's a Chiefs fan, actually, in real life. He said it.
This group of 5 is stellar, more dynamic power than the 89 Pistons, with the black darkened screen making me wonder what is going on there. But at least when Jamie looks down, we get forehead.
Bad boy forehead.
All right. Fuck Cleveland is what Yinzer says, and I
Well,
agree.
Yenzer, guess what? We're gonna get to a rule that your team proposed, and you're gonna like.
And
you're probably
it's
gonna
right
like this
now.
one.
Direct free agent contact. The Pittsburgh Steelers proposed making permanent a trial rule that allows teams to have one video or phone call with up to 5 unrestricted free agents during the tampering period. Brilliant. Because right now they either got to meet in person or that one phone call. Now they're trying to make it to where they get 5. I like the idea of the 5 because then it's less travel for everybody.
I agree 100%, JB.
And the last one, I love this. The pup list practice window. Players on the reserve or physically unable to perform list will be able to begin their 21-day practice window after the team's second regular season game instead of having to wait 4 weeks down the road like it used to be. So, in other words, if they got hurt and they go into the season injured in the preseason, hey, Megan, the link is in the Lions Roundtable Talk chat if you want to hop in.
I like that rule, JB.
Yep. And then the last one has to do with the Labor Days for the 4th week of preseason when the cuts start. From now on, that last week, Saturday and Sunday, you're in bed. Okay. Saturday and Sunday only. There will be no the last Monday night football game, so teams can start their cuts right away on Monday instead of having to wait till Tuesday to do it. I like that too because preseason is meaningless as points on whose line is it anyways.
Right.
So that way it can streamline the 24-hour waiver wire. So far, I haven't heard stupid rules. That's the one thing I like. I haven't heard anything where I just go, oh, Jesus Christ. Other than maybe the Cleveland Browns were the one that suggested the 5 years of trading.
Well, I still think the onside kick thing is still stupid. I don't care.
Well, yeah, they're having to declare it. But I mean,
that's
the
tough.
fact that they went back that you don't have to be trailing to do it.
I mean, like I said,
It's nice to revise the pup rule. Makes a ton of sense, no question. Makes things more fair to players that caught injuries near end of camp, but still capable beyond a week or two. I like it. That's exactly where I'm at on that. Because we had a lot of players that could have came back early, and they had to wait because of that 4-week rule. I like the 2-week rule. Much easier on your roster if somebody's only out 2 weeks instead of 4.
Mm-hmm.
Because it may take them a week of practicing before they even get on the field, which would still make it the 4th week, but they're back practicing then instead of waiting 2 weeks to get back into game shape.
Yep.
That means the longest anybody out that's coming off that pup list or off of the injury reserve at the beginning of the season, they'll be playing by week 4 now instead of playing by week 6.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think that's the.
That just reduces it from six games, really, reality to 4 games. So that's cool.
I do think it's cool, especially when they allow people. They medically clear people when they're about 85%. They don't like to go 80 or less because that's a higher chance of re-injury. So if they're 85% ready in week 2, they're off the pup list. They're on the 21-day. It's a 21-day practice window for a reason, people. Because it takes that 1 to 3 weeks for them to get into shape and ready to play in a game. So, if I had 4 weeks after my hair transplant when I went to Turkey, I would have never met my wife. Sometimes you have to jump back in the game ASAP and not be penalized by a random healing. Hey, man.
That's perfect.
Sometimes I wish I would have had 4 weeks to wait, so I might not have met my first ex-wife. But
at least it's going back to you.
How are the Yankees doing tonight?
We're winning.
Yeah, no, you were up by nothing at one point.
I think it's 7 now. I'm watching the end of the Pistons game
Yeah.
for your guys' sake.
8 seconds left.
Yep.
Let's go.
So let's see. I'm going to read exactly what the Jake Bakes re-signing is. He placed an
He just
exclusive rights
officially
free
signed
agent
it, Dave.
tender. Oh, he just signed it. That's all it is. It's not a long-term
Yeah,
deal.
he just officially resigned it.
Let me
Yeah.
look at the official score, JB, instead of just making it
I
up.
can't watch it because
It's
I
7-0.
on Netflix.
I'm
Michael
Seven
just
nothing.
Michael
right
just
now.
confirmed it for you. It's 7-0.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah.
Okay, 7-0.
No home runs yet. No
Max
home
Free
runs.
must be pitching out of his mind right now.
Freed's okay. He has 2 hits, 4 Ks.
Mm.
It's okay.
There's one error on the Giants too. How's my buddy Judge doing? Is he doing anything in this game or no? Nope, not a single bit.
No, not
He
yet.
left 3 people on base and struck out 3 times.
But maybe that's a good sign. It's the first game without Judge doing anything, and they're still up 7-0. So
That's a good sign for your team. Yeah, somebody predicted
Giants
the
should be
Giants
better
would.
this year.
So who's this guy the Tigers called up?
Kevin McGonigal.
Oh, you talking about the rookie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a rookie last year that never
That's
played up in
actually
the
a good
He didn't
sign.
even get the call up at the end of the season, which we were all begging for because he does have a nice pop in his bat. He ended up with an OPS around 950 this preseason. But what I don't like is like the last 3 games, he kind of went offers.
Mm.
I think he was 1 of 9 in the last 3 games. But
Gotcha.
he started out hot and was batting almost 300.
What position is he?
Shortstop and third base.
Nice. Take place of old man
Javi,
Javi. Yeah.
I think it's going to be more of what BA and I talked about because we talked about this before. Javi Baez might be platooning center field with Parker Meadows. Parker Meadows is a bigger liability on offense than Javi is.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if you knew this. I met
Nice.
Torque.
Damn it.
I met
Damn
Torque.
it. Lost.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh,
Oh,
Freaking
it's
point.
over. BA, come on, you're ahead of me. I want to see if they got even a look. Not really.
Yep,
Tobias took a
130
dump
to
shot.
129. But
Yeah,
like I
Tobias
said,
took a dump shot.
that's a hell of a comeback because we were down big after 3.
Yeah.
Someone should propose a rule to not let Cleveland draft in the top 15 again.
Yeah, just to be like, hey, dude, you've had enough up there.
Yeah, Parker, yikes. He is. And it's not the fact that he strikes out or anything. When he does get on base, he has the wheels. He has the tools defensively in the outfield. He has no pop in his bat.
I
And he
think
heated into
Wiggins actually not a
Who is this?
What are you talking about?
Parker
Jim?
Meadows. He has no pop in his bat, really, unless he catches it right on the screws. There's very little chance
I think
of him
he's
hitting
talking
a home run.
about. I think he's talking about Kevin McGonigal. McGonigal.
I was talking about Parker Meadows being worse than Javi offensively earlier. And that's
No, I think no, but I'm saying that Will was talking about the guy that we brought up that is a starter on the roster right now, Kevin McGonigal.
Yeah, and I discussed him first, and I said, and the reason why is because old man Javi did better when he was in center field than he ever has as a Tiger. If you win, he went on that hot streak when he was out there in center field and played great defensively. So
yeah, but he's a rookie. He didn't do anything in the majors yet.
Yeah, I know. I just think that's what it's for, is so they can take the liability of Parker Meadows off the field more. Because Cole Keith is a serviceable third baseman. I wish his bat would wake up for what we paid for it. Cleveland Brown draft picks are useless. Free pass to an adult-only amusement park for Kyler Murray. By the way, do I still have that in here? You might want to see this. Nope. I'll get it in here, though.
I showed my
have
friend that
the
picture you're talking about.
Did you see Kyler Murray decided he's going to start auditioning for the longest yard again, but in a Minnesota uniform?
Ah, that's terrible. He is so bad.
I did
Our
have a
lineup
nice.
is
Did you see that Ruben Bain is fell as a prospect on ESPN and NFL Network?
he's
Really?
what?
Why?
He is sliding. I guess he had a bad pro day. Bad mean machine. So this morning when I did my mock draft, he's considered the 16th prospect. We have what pick? 17, right?
Yeah,
So that's what I ended up doing.
I like it.
No trades.
Nice.
Ruben Bain, Caleb Lomu, Kyle Lewis, the linebacker out of Pittsburgh, Julian Neal, cornerback out of Arkansas, safety Robert Spears Jennings, the cheetah guy I love that I wrote about, Kendall Daniels, Tariq Sapp, Tanner Koziol, and Jack Strand.
Are we doing a
I,
mock tonight?
we might be. I don't have very many other topics, so let's talk about what do you got for your team usually? Because we do, we do that. Talk about our own teams.
Oh, what we want to draft?
No, your team. What's going on there?
Oh,
What's
let me
going
look.
on in Carolina?
Let me look.
Other than losing Cade Mays, Kyle Lewis is the truth. Yeah, I saw he was a really good off-ball linebacker when I read his draft profile. So
I'm looking under the Panthers real
he's
quick.
another computer type linebacker like Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell may not be the fastest guy on the field, but he's fast enough for sideline to sideline, and he uses his smarts to be there.
So we traded Andy Dalton for a 7th-round pick to the Eagles. We got A.J. Dillon as a backup running back now.
Mm-hmm. Good luck
So
with the
basically-
Quadzilla.
Yeah.
We just lost Christian Rosenboom to the Buccaneers. Let's see.
And you lost Cade Mays to us.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Everybody's clamoring about that full season PFF grade for Cade Mays. And yes, it was awful. We were comparing a guy with 6 starts and maybe 200 snaps to somebody that had over 480 snaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he ran a 4.6 at the combine in the 40.
Yeah. But nothing really else. Nothing
Well, we'll just see about that. That's all I gotta say.
nothing really else. Oh,
What about Cade Mays or
Yeah, K Mays.
Yep.
Because he's a bit better than he's a bit better than Glasgow, but he ain't no rag now. He ain't nowhere near a rag now.
I'm not saying he's rag now, but I don't think he's.
I'm not saying
properly.
People are just making this guy glorious. I mean, he's what we
No.
need at the position, and because he was the second free agent off of a center's list. That makes him automatically the greatest thing since sliced bread, and that's not true.
I'm not going there either. I'll give you my honest opinion of him. Yes, he's still learning. He's had limited snaps as a starter at center. He played most of his snaps at guard with Carolina, which that is what gave him the bad run blocking grade. He did better run blocking in the center position the last 6 weeks, because if you go look at those games he started, he was ranking in the top 10 every week as a center per PFF. So the whole grade is off, but I'm not saying it's much better. Does that make sense how I'm saying it?
Like I said, that's why we have to see.
Right.
And he's a wait and see type of guy. He's not one of those guys that you're going to insert in there and he's going to do tremendously well. So I'm just saying. I just whatever.
Yeah, Lomu and Proctor have been dropping out of the first round because they're strictly right tackles. They have less of the versatility, and they weren't elite left tackles, if you know what I mean, when they are right tackles. Max Ahinakor was there at 25, and I was debating on taking him, but when I saw Ruben Bain, and you just look at his stats and everything he did, and granted, both him and Messidor benefited from both of them being on the team. Because when one was taking double teams, the other one would get free. When that one gets double teamed, the other one would break free. So
What's
it is
up,
what
Jimmy?
it is. Something must have happened with the Yankees. Who did it?
Yeah.
Did Judge's bat wake up? Or is this
Jamie?
Max Reed having a game, Jamie?
Easy.
Oh, because I saw you celebrating. I'm like, what are we getting?
7-0 here.
It's
Still
still
7
7-0.
on top of the 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I was watching the Sabres too.
Oh,
So I thought it was interesting when I looked at this one beat writer put in Instagram his 5 worst off seasons this year. Did you guys see that?
maybe.
Yeah. What?
The 5 worst free agency period for teams in the NFL. He gave an honorable mention to the Texans. At 5, he had the Indianapolis Colts. At 4, he put the Jacksonville Jaguars. At 3, the Seattle Seahawks. 2, the Denver Broncos. And number 1, punts.
The Lions.
And we're the
Cleveland
Cleveland
Browns.
Browns.
Cleveland
Oh,
Browns.
Cleveland.
Punt.
Only knocks on Lewis is he's not good against the run. He might have to change his position to safety. Okay.
The Browns may have the worst free agency, but they have a grass field for player safety. So there you go.
Yeah, they may stay healthy, but all their guys are dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Todd Monken was a good hire. Actually, surprisingly, not a bad hire for them, though.
So now we have Wednesday night football to start the season.
That just sounds so dumb.
And the game's in Australia on streaming. It's not even. It's San Francisco and the Rams, and it's on streaming. It's not even on regular
Oh,
TV.
so you got the number 2 team in that division versus the number 3 team, which, hey, guess what? That means they pay less than jock tax. 4Ks on Judge. Good Lord.
Oh, I forgot, because they're in Australia, they don't have to pay the California jock tax. I forgot. So.
Aaron Judge was playing on Team USA though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that's the reason why. I guarantee you, most of those players that were playing on a WBC aren't going to be playing very well because they didn't have an exhibition season really. They just had a WBC.
I bet he'll bounce back in the next game.
Oh, he'll be fine. It's a long season. It's only one game.
Yeah, but the fact that they're up 7, not like I said, the fact that they're up 7-0 and he's 0-for-4 with 4 strikeouts. So you said it's the Giants, but they're doing it off of Logan Webb, and Logan Webb's like their best pitcher. So,
well, that should be scary for the Giants then, because if he's getting shoved for 7 runs, he might not be the guy he needs to be. I don't know. It's just bad. It's bad all the way around for San Fran.
Here's my suggestion for those of you that are tired of paying for all the subscription services. And no, I don't.
You could watch it in antenna like some of the older folks do. You could put your TV on antenna mode and hook it up, and you watch it there.
What?
Go ahead, Jeremy.
There is a service out there called NFL HD.TV. It's $99 a year. You get every professional sport for 365 days.
And it's only $99. That's a good price.
Right. And you get about 100 different channels and 12 regular of your cable TV channels like the Weather Channel, Travel Channel, A&E, History.
Oh yeah,
So
nice.
for the money, that's the best bang for the buck out there in streaming services.
Mm-hmm. But I also said a lot of your TVs now have antenna mode. A lot of people do that. They'll buy an antenna and they'll flip their TV on antenna mode and watch the stream game on there without having to pay for anything like old school.
Yeah, the reason why I chose Wednesday night is because there's never been Wednesday night football except the day before Thanksgiving or Christmas.
The problem is Goodell wants football every day of the week now. That's what he's trying.
He's just a greedy bastard. He's just a greedy bastard.
Think about it. The owners are just as greedy because they let him do it.
JB, did you see Benchwarmer brand skit on Brian Robinson joining the Falcons?
Yeah.
That was great.
Well, it's
All
apparent
that
that
Kelly had no
it's
clue.
with Roger Goodell and the team owners because they don't give a fuck about their players. So what the hell?
They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about their fans either. Otherwise,
Mm-mm.
ticket prices wouldn't be so astronomical when everything else costs so much. And that, there's very few cheap teams anymore. Anytime a team makes the playoffs, the next year their ticket prices go up.
Yeah, we know that as Lions fans.
Yeah.
Yep.
But guess what? They never go back down in a bad season after a bad season.
Nope.
And I think that's a big difference in the electricity we were seeing in 23 and 24 with the Lions versus 25. They didn't raise the ticket prices astronomically until 25. So now you're getting more of those wine and cheese. Oh my God, we're good. I got to go to a game because I can afford it. People.
Well, they
I
raised
miss
the ticket.
tinfoil, UHF, VHF, 20 and 56.
Yeah, 25. They raised.
Yeah.
They raised 30. They raised the ticket prices 35%, which was the most in the NFL.
And it also was the average was 27% across the NFL, with the lowest raise being 15% and the highest rate being us.
Yep. We had the highest ticket prices in the NFL.
But at the same time, sometimes if you look at it, the prices they were giving was more of the scalper pricing, because I actually looked and I was like, wait a minute. If they had a ticket available, it would have been a much cheaper through the website, but they didn't have it. You had to go through a scalper. And scalping is ruining the sport for the average fan.
It is.
I think Goodell's doing a pretty good job of that on his damn own, but I digress.
And the weaker he makes the defensive players be able to play defense, that doesn't help, because
all
of us that
it'll
are
be
50
flag
and
football
up,
by I guarantee by about 15, 20 years it'll be flag football.
Oh God.
Don't
Love
curse
that.
us like that. So Jamie, what's going on with the Bills lately? Anything good?
They said the new stadium is 93% complete. And they said it should be ready to go when it opens up in June, and they're gonna have the blue and white scrimmage there, and then they should be ready for preseason games and everything. And I love what it looks like. It's like, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's really it's like a modern day stadium. But what's cool about it is
I wish I am. I hope I am.
It's
that stadium is beautiful from what I've seen.
Is that got a retractable roof too?
It does not. It just has canopies over the 300 level, but it's open air. But like I said, it has grass, which is good for players. Safety. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, the Bills were forward thinking on that, at least when they built this.
Is it ready for the new year?
That's what he just said. It will be. It's 93% done.
They said it's like a hockey or a basketball stadium, where it's like all the seats, like from the 300 level to the first row, are actually a lot closer, more on top of the field, like a college stadium than the older stadium was. More crowd, so the crowd noise can just bounce everywhere, and it's going to be even louder than the old stadium.
Good. Jamie, quick question: did they turn the old stadium destroyed it?
They're going to keep it up for one more year as a display, and then in March 2027 they're going to begin demolishing it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it turns into like apartments or something like that, because that's
they said they may make it more parking for the new stadium.
I agree. MDE says Buffalo fans deserve that kind of stadium. Great fans, they deserve a Super Bowl. Not more than the Lions, but I hope they get one soon after we do.
we do deserve that kind of stadium, and I know we're already complaining about ticket prices being high and everything at these other stadiums. And I mean, I know like they're going to be higher at the new stadium, but here's the unfortunately, like I said, when you had a 50-year-old stadium and it's obviously not up to the standards of like, the SoFis or the Jerry Worlds or like MetLife or even like, or even Heinz Field and
Back
the
to-
Cleveland Browns Stadium now, it's not even up to the standards of those stadiums, and those stadiums are 20 years older, but at least they're not
Could
even
have
up
made
to
it
the
skinny and said Ford Field, but okay.
Yeah, you could have said Ford Field, but we're actually 25 years old now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
half of that.
it still
Garfield.
looks like it's you made it so it still looks like it was built
Mhm.
now, even though it was in 2002. That's what I'm trying
Yeah,
to say.
they do really. They are doing a much better job of the upkeep of the outside and the inside of the stadium with Ford Field than they ever did with the Silverdome.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's why I'm saying you don't need to build a new stadium. That stadium looks as good as new now with the way they've been renovating it.
the
Right.
Panthers are going to be starting to renovate theirs sooner or later, and it's going to look a lot better.
It has to
said
happen
$800
because you
million
and the Browns for 2 years in a row have had some of the lowest ticket prices of anywhere, and it's because of the disarray of the stadium. It's
Yeah.
less about the fans wanting to be there for the team and more about who wants to go to this shithole.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, even that stadium has been better. Even that stadium is better
Well-
kept up than, like I said, the Bills' 50-year-old one was.
You have to remember the Panther Stadium, I believe, is 40 years old too.
It's
Was that 96 when you
31.
guys started?
31. 1995 is when the Panthers started.
Yeah,
Or
but
31? Okay.
let me look how old it actually is, because we played in Clemson first, mind you.
Right.
But see that stadium, like it doesn't show its age. The Bills is 50 years old. That was showing its age. At least the Panthers one, if you modernize it, it could look new.
You're
That's
right,
what I'm trying to
JB.
say.
96.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Right.
It was 96.
Which is what
Okay.
I'm saying. The Bills stadium actually showed its age. They couldn't renovate it. They had to get a new one. They had no choice.
I think we're going to probably be renovating it soon. I wish it was sooner.
Absolutely.
I
Oh,
wish
go
it
ahead.
was.
Mhm.
I wish it was a few years back. We have renovated it a few times, but we are hosting the MLS All Star Game this year.
Think about this. You can at least see 3 sports in one day if it's possible, because you could have the morning game with the Lions, an afternoon game with the Tigers, and then go to the night game, which could be the Pistons or Red Wings at the same time.
Oh, and speaking of soccer, well, that's why the Bills wanted a grass field, because one of their managing partners is Josie Altidore, former USA soccer player, and he said they want to be able to host soccer matches at the new stadium because soccer is just like football, where 90% of the soccer players want grass instead of that, and that's why the Browns Stadium now can host soccer events. And I think
Right.
you said your stadium wants to host soccer, right? Is it a grass
We
field?
already have.
No.
Is it grass in Carolina or not?
Oh.
No, they've been talking about switching that to grass, but they want to update the stadium first because the drainage wasn't good to begin with, and that's one of the reasons why they switched to turf.
There's a lot of there's a lot of stadiums that might actually go to grass, because I don't know if you heard the Roger Goodell's mandating this year that they pick new surfaces so that they're
Right.
ready for 2028.
Right, because they want to be a part of the next FIFA or whatever, or World Cup, whatever it is. Yeah.
Well, it's player safety too. The thing about it is, Detroit's getting a soccer stadium too. So
Right.
it's going to be grass.
Mm.
So I mean, it doesn't have. I don't know what the capacity of the stadium is. I think it's like
they
25,000 or something like
25
that.
to 35,000 is what I've been
Yeah.
hearing. They haven't
Mhm.
narrowed it down yet. It depends on how many levels they make it and if they put a second level in it or not. I think that's where the other 10,000 comes in, is if they do the second balcony.
Wait, so you're saying that's why Goodell wants all 32 stadiums to be grass so they can all have a shot at the Women's
No.
World Cup or the next guys or whatever? I don't know.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because it's every 2 years, because it's the women's and then the men's right now, right?
Well, no, wait, is it? I don't know. It's every 2 years is the the guys is every 4 years during a midterm election. So remember that.
Right. And
And
then
then-
on the election years every 4 years, it's the women. is what I'm getting at. It's
No.
So-
It's the off year election after the midterms. So 2027 is going to be because remember it was 2023 for the women the last time, so it'll be 2027. So it's 4 years
That's
after
4
the
years. Yeah.
guys. A year after the guys for 4 years. So
But it's every
next
4
year
years.
is going to
That's
be
what I
the
was getting at,
Women's
yeah.
World Cup 2027.
But I was just saying they are every 4 years though, right? Each one of them.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was getting at. I just didn't know if it was the year after or if it fell on the year in between. You know what? You know, the 2 year in
Mhm.
between.
Uh,
Because I'm not much of a soccer fan.
yeah.
Watching soccer to me is like watching tennis.
But like I
come
said,
on.
but if you want to remember the guys, just remember it's every 4 years in a midterm election year. Just remember that. That's how you'll remember it.
It's actually, by the way, the seating capacity is actually 15,000.
Oh,
I'm looking at
okay.
it.
So
Yeah.
that's where they're going to get the extras if they build that second tier that they're talking about.
Yeah. It doesn't say anything about that in here either.
No, that's what they were talking about originally. I don't know if they took that off they must have took that off the board if they're saying 15,000 capacity, which I don't know if that's going to be enough for a World Cup.
soccer. Yeah.
Right. So they would need Detroit to be able to, or use Tiger Stadium for it, one or the two, but the more than likely it'd be Detroit because it's done in the summer. I'd rather watch paint dry than soccer.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they'd do it in Cold America.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
because the World Cup runs in the baseball season.
And I think
The field is too small for that, I think.
I told Michael this, and I don't know if I told you this, BA, but did you hear a month before the Men's World Cup, the US men and women's, their national soccer headquarters, they're moving out of Chicago and they're going to be moving to a brand new facility in Atlanta that the Atlanta Falcons owner built. He built them like this big new facility in Atlanta because they want to get out of Chicago because of the
Chicago
crime
sucks.
and-
That's why you want to get out of
crime
Chicago.
and the taxes.
and the crime. Yeah.
Yep. It has to
Fuck
do more.
Chicago.
They can say the crime as much as they want, and the crime is bad in Chicago. But the more people that want to leave Illinois, it's due to taxes.
Yeah.
It has to do with money. There's a lot of people that live in Gary and Hampton and drive to Chicago to work because they can't afford the taxes to live in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a lot of people that live outside of Detroit and drive to Detroit. The property taxes in Detroit are ridiculous. That's why there's a lot of people in the outskirts. That's why it's called the greater metropolitan Detroit area. And you'll see almost 3 counties counted in it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh. So, JB, what number mock are you on?
I did mock number 77 today.
Yeah.
Let's do another. No, I'm kidding.
So, BA, what do you think of us signing Ben Barch?
I actually like that one. That's one that I can get behind because he's a pretty good guard. Offensive line, he can play tackle too, but he's a pretty good. He got drafted as a guard for Jacksonville. He's pretty good.
Yeah, and he played tackle the last 2 seasons, I believe, for the 49ers it was. And he did really well there. I think it would be great because now we know that Borum might be exactly what we projected him to be, the skipper replacement, the swing tackle, which is something that he does well. He doesn't start well. We know that because we heard about it.
Well, I mean, I to tell you the truth, I think I think they're going to do one or two things. They're going to either move Panay back to his natural position at left tackle and get, put Borum or Barch over there at right tackle. And, because it doesn't seem like they're getting a lot of offensive linemen. So it seems to me that in the draft, they might go defensive.
Michael Edwards, you're not telling me anything on that. I know that soccer, race car driving, and when you add up all of them, including the F1 and the rallies and stuff like that, soccer, rally, cricket, all have more fans that attend than what we do in the NFL. But the NFL is limited to one country. If you actually ended in the Canadian Football League, maybe the UFL, and all the college attendance, it would actually be a lot more for football. But they don't do it. For some reason, they keep it all separate. And I'm like, wait a minute, we're all in North America, aren't we?
And Michael, yeah, let's put it in perspective. You're talking about the world, all right? Nobody gives a damn about that stuff in the U.S. They don't. They don't really. The U.S. soccer is okay. There's not many followers, and who the hell hears any about cricket in this country? Come on, we're talking about the USA. I'm not talking about the world.
NASCAR is easy to watch when you're hammered drunk. I said, yeah, because 90% of
the
the
constant
races
left turn.
I would say it's go real fast, straight, turn. Go real fast, turn left.
It's a constant left turn. That's all it is.
I love the road courses. Those are the ones that are fun to watch to me. So, any other signings that you liked lately that we've done? Or you find intriguing? BA?
Not really.
We did pick up a.
But I mean, Barch is good. I think that's a good sign. That's a really good sign.
I secretly like the Damone Clark signing. I do like it because of the familiarity with Calvin Shepard. Calvin Shepard already praised him when he got here. I think that was a Calvin Shepard. I want this guy. He's a free agent. Get him.
You know what signing I like, JB?
Tell me.
He came from my team. Wonham.
Okay, me. Oh, no, DJ Wonham.
Yeah, but
the only thing I can say about DJ Wonham is he played 4 years less. He has about the same production rate as what AQM had last year, but in a career. Not any one season did he get to double digits.
Yeah.
But AQM never got to double digits until he got to Detroit.
Yeah.
So this is the reason why I think that the Lions are going to go defense with their first pick. They're not going to go offense. And I think that this might be a chance for them to move. Now, I know some draft projects Baines to go lower, but I stick with the NFL mock drafts. I mean, Draft Buzz, NFLDraftBuzz.com, and they still have him as third or fourth. What do they got him as? Yeah, he should be like third or fourth or something like that. This
was number 76. This was yesterday's draft. And
yeah, you got him third on there. Again.
And then I got Caden Proctor at 50, VJ Payne at 118. I traded back 3 spots and got a late 6th round pick. I ended up with Takario Davis, the 6'3" speedster out of Washington at cornerback. Caleb Alarms Orr, who could possibly be an off-ball linebacker, but he's more than likely going to be a weak side linebacker because our strong side is set with Derek Barnes for now because he's still under contract. But somebody like him, he's a little taller than Malcolm Rodriguez and faster. Then I grabbed the Cheetah guy who played safety and switched to linebacker, and Kendall Daniels because of his size. The guy's 6'5" and 242 with safety skills. Give me a guy like that you can turn into like a Viper. And then Tanner Koziel at tight end, Tariq Sapp on the edge, Deshaun Singleton for another safety, and Jack Strand because I still think we're going to end up taking one, whether it's in the 7th round with that last pick or we wait for a UDFA. I think we're going to get a quarterback.
JB, has Judge Collier dropped?
Judge Collier went back to college. He's out. I hated that. It was right after I wrote his draft profile. He declared to go back to college.
Oh, I was like, I wonder where he's been.
Otherwise, I'd be picking him all the time. Remember, he was 6'3" and everything I said I wanted in a corner for Detroit. Big, strong, fast, ball hawk, in-air defender.
Keldrick Falk and Peter Woods are a couple of guys that, if they can't get Baines, might be available.
I'm a Clemson fan and non-Clemson biased. Peter Woods is a stud.
Motown Mitch, good to see you. So I know I announced it yesterday. We're going to announce it again because the night crew might be different. Rest in peace, Brent DeWitt, longtime Lions fan. Um, 66 years young.
We miss you,
May you
Brent.
rest in peace.
We love you, Brent.
Yeah, I hate seeing that. You know, somebody that was born in that era, right when we started to suck. I hate to say it, but we had 4 good seasons at the end of the 60s where we were like either winning the division or getting second.
Yes, he was.
Because I think it was what 68 to 70, or 67 to 70 was the last time we had 4 straight winning seasons before this last set of 4. But that was back when we had 12 and 14 games, because in between that time is when they went to 14, if I remember right. Wasn't that about that time, BA?
Who was that again? I'm sorry. I'm reading Brent's
Late 6.
obituary.
Yeah, I read it. I remember when his wife died. It was back when we first started the show. He took a few months off to grieve.
Yeah.
Did he ever jump on the panel?
One time he did, because I was on the fan cave chat and nobody showed up. It was back when I first started, and he hopped in.
That's awesome.
And I'm not saying Super Bowl or bust this year. You know what I'm saying? Just get us there. I don't think it's a Super Bowl or bust year, but I think we are good enough to contend, because last year every team like really raised up and went all in on free agency and trades and everything else. And right now it seems like all the teams are kind of doing little stagnant moves like what we're doing, but less of them. They're just filling holes. Have you noticed that, BA?
Yeah. I kind of don't. It's like this. I keep trying to tell folks that teams are going to have a lull.
Mm-hmm.
But yet the teams that have a lull have been in the Super Bowl. What I'm talking about is Philadelphia, Kansas, San Francisco, the Rams, even Seattle to a point. So you got to look at. And I was taking a look at each of those franchises' years that have passed. This is the first down year for Kansas City. They've been,
right.
It's like it's going to be automatic. They're going to be in the AFC Championship. Same thing with Philadelphia. Philadelphia's problems lie in if they get a good offensive and defensive coordinator. Then they got to be both of them, because obviously their coaches and shit. So that's the reason why. Every time they don't have either one of those variables in their team, they don't do well. They do well, but they don't go to the Super Bowl. Right. And every time they got them, they go to the Super Bowl, either win or lose. So
we all said last year that Philadelphia was still a good team, but we didn't know what they'd be without Kellen Moore.
Yeah. And we saw what they were without Kellen Moore. Which is it's kind of stupid though, because you got a made offense, really. I mean, if you just do what they did the year before, you should be fine. They didn't do any of that what they did the year before. It's like they went totally away from what they were doing on the offense, and that's what killed Philadelphia.
So that new AI song I wrote that everybody loves. Lions had their down year last year. I had my favorite signing this offseason so far, the re-signing of James. Smoking bad. We were almost in sync again.
The music kind of faded out. That's why it was weird. Anyway.
But I don't think there's anything.
But I'm really happy that I'm happy that we did more than everybody thought we would do in free agency. Am I not happy we didn't make that big splash signing? Yes and no.
Just to stay relevant with, like, you know.
I like I said, I want to see the offense be better with Petzing and Kafka there. It would be nice if you see them working more conjoined and hand in hand. Maybe one on the field and one in the booth instead of both of them in one place or the other.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, Mike, but let me tell you something. draft. I mean, Brad hasn't been exactly the greatest in the last 2 drafts, you got to say that. First of all, second of all, if you're depending on draft players to get you to the Super Bowl, you're in for trouble because not first year draft players don't always pan out really well. So
I should have to pay my therapist late Wednesday night show day, 37 minutes.
cheaper
But I
than
got
strip
the
bar in
star in
Illinois. Damn.
Down on the mean streets of Livonia.
Yeah. I would not know anything about that, Mike. But that's true.
Hey, you know where that line came from. Dirty Dom says it all the time, but it's not his. It's Sean Belesians, who now is the owner of Woodward Sports. He used to say that on WDFN, the fan, on the mean streets of Illinois, of Livonia.
Yeah. I think with this team, I think it's just wait and see. That's what it is. It's a wait and see.
It's a little bit of wait and see for us. I think, and I am not saying Pacheco's better than Monty. I'd be lying if I'd say that. What I will say is Pacheco's faster than Monty. And
we got a fast back. We don't need 2 fast backs. We need one.
But he still has more.
And the fact that they got Pacheco tells me that they're going to be running the hell out of Gibbs, and that's not going to be good for him. I just don't see. I don't see them putting all that workload on Gibbs and Gibbs making it like that. It just he's dynamic, but man, when you have Montgomery and Gibbs in the same thing, they had the best backfield in the NFL. Period.
But Pacheco does have power, and he does know how to use it. He will be more of the short yardage guy than Gibbs will. I think it's going to be about the same split of carries as it was last year, 70-30, 65-35, because that's what it was. That's what it's been 2 seasons in a row between Gibbs and Monty. Gibbs has gotten 65 to 70% of the snaps the last 2 years. And it's also why I don't think they're going to extend him this year. I think they're going to give him his 5th-year option and wait a year, see how he does without Monty being there. And if he's just as productive, then what they'll do, and this is what I would do, I'd franchise tag his ass for the next season. And then do the transitional tag in year 7. And the reason why is why give him the top running back money like he wants when you can use up as many miles as you can. And then if somebody wants him, they got to give you draft compensation and beat that average of the top 5 salary.
Amen.
I like the Pacheco signing. Lions actually run the ball. I think Pacheco is going to have a career. If he has a career year, that means he stayed healthy. That's what all I got to say. His last healthy season, I think, was his rookie season when he didn't even start as a starter until, what was it, week 7 that year, and he broke. Oh yeah, draft the kid laid out at Toledo, the basher.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. Okay, so in 2024. The splits between Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery were basically the same. Gibbs had 92 carries, Montgomery had 93. So there was a significant drop-off last season with that because they should have – I'm going to tell you right now, it's Dan Campbell's fault flat out because he refused to run Montgomery when he needed to run Montgomery, and then he gave the ball to J-Mo. Now, that helped J-Mo out because J-Mo got a lot of significant, yards from that certain point. But if you stop using the guy that gets you there, that gets you the hard yards, and there's some games that Montgomery actually got more yards than Gibbs because he was running hard through the middle of the line, which you need to do because we didn't have no damn line. So
what line? I would say what line? We didn't have a line last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he ran through that line. He ran through that line. So I mean,
I take that back. We did have Ratledge too, but that side of the line was fine. It was the rest of it that we were like, ooh.
Yeah.
Even Decker wasn't as good last year, and that's why I'm not upset we let him go. I actually predicted that would happen if he came back.
Indiana, 3 of them, and we can protect offense is more dynamic.
Yeah, he's
I
talking
mean,
about Dion Watt.
but see, everything's a wait and see. I don't know if Petzing's going to be that guy as an offensive coordinator. I mean, I know what style he likes to do. He didn't lose a step. I don't know what you're talking about. He never lost a step. Dan Campbell didn't use him. That's the point. If you look at the carries that he was getting with Morton as an offensive coordinator compared to Dan Campbell, there's a significant difference. And I think I can even pull that up. But
if you look at total touches, including receptions, in the last 2 seasons with Monty, it was a total of 58 less snaps that he had it.
Well, 2025 was the last season, right?
Yep.
2024 is the one I told you that he had. So it was only one season. That was last season because he had the same carries. He had one more carry than Jahmyr Gibbs did in 2024, 92 to 93. So it was equal.
And how many did he
last
have
year's
last year?
was he significantly fell off last. Well, he didn't fall off, but he wasn't getting the ball. Let's see.
Yeah, because Valenti said it, the first year we had Gibbs when he was a rookie, the 23 draft, it was almost dead even. And then he said, and he's talking about receptions too. He goes, and then when you add in the receptions and everything, Monty had 25 less than the year before. And then this past year, it was 37 total less. I'm talking about receptions and touches.
I'm talking about the running back aspect. I don't care about the passing aspect of it because Monty's not in there to be catching passes. He's in there to be running through that hole. He's the power back, even though he don't like that term. That's just the reality of the situation. But Jahmyr Gibbs is the guy that catches the ball out of the backfield, so of course he's going to get more of those. Monty just didn't get the fair shake that he should have got last year with Dan Campbell, and when he spoke up about it, that's why he went bye-bye. So it is what it is now. There's no use of crying over spilt milk, but don't tell me that it was Monty's fault that he got traded. No, it's not. That dude was playing his ass off.
That.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying people in general.
I know.
They say he was ass. In fact, your boy Nate said he was ass. And I said, dude, I don't know what you were looking at.
There was those few games where they tried to get him going early, where he was starting, and I know it's more because of the O-line than him, but they did right by Monty because he did tell them if he gets traded to anybody, he'd love to go back to Houston where he's from, and so he got his wish in a way.
Well, he also said he didn't want to be traded, so
right.
That's nobody keeps saying anything about that. They
his
ass anyway. So that's not. I mean,
he goes nasty Nate. Yeah, Nathan.
Yeah, nasty Nate.
Yeah, Matt Patricia's illegitimate kid.
Yeah, that's the reason why he quit coming on my show back in the day when he was coming on with Bandit. He got mad at me because I said he started talking shit about me talking shit about AG. I said, I'll tell you what. You look like you could be Matt Patricia's illegitimate son.
Damn.
And
that's what I call him too. That's the reason why he gets mad when I say that to
him. He does though. Same beard, same color hair.
Do you remember when we egged him on to put a pencil?
Yeah, we were like, for a whole show, we were like, hey, when are you gonna put a pencil behind your ear? Because you motherfuckers.
I hated that kid.
Oh no, he wasn't that bad. It's just he was a very much an AG apologist.
He's a Lions apologist in general. He doesn't really look at everything black and white. He looks at everything through rose color, not rose colored, but Honolulu blue glasses. That's what he does.
Castro to a ho-ho. He could be a rocket surgeon.
I wouldn't trust him doing that.
Oh, so we made it through the hour. I love the fact that we've spent this money and got the players we got to fill the holes we did, because we still have enough to do like one more solid signing at 24.5. I don't know what Ben Barch is getting. I didn't see the the numbers on it yet. I don't like them.
Who's that?
He don't like Nate. Robbie.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't either.
yeah, they
Welcome to
don't.
the club.
They don't. Every time Robbie comments on the show, he calls him jag off.
The quietly secret good move that I loved was getting Greg Dortch for the return game. He's a
Yeah,
bigger version of Leaf.
fourth.
Yeah, like I said, they didn't have any problem with the, I think there's a lot of areas that they downgraded in, but wide receiver, quarterback, and tight end is something they didn't really downgrade in any of those.
I think
I
we
want to
got
say
better at tight
I'm
end.
kind of the Laporta thing is we got to find out what's going on with that dude.
I mean, I put out 18 reports in the past 6 weeks that he's supposed to be back before training camp.
Yeah, we always hear that stuff about. We heard that stuff about Kirby too, and what happened? It's one thing about the Lions; they're very secretive about their injuries. They don't as transparent as Dan can be.
Well,
they still kind of hold out on that stuff.
This came from the team support that I posted that it was not. He did not have to have spinal fusion. It was a herniated disc they had to drain the fluid off of. Is all it was. He did not have spinal fusion, so that totally changed his trajectory for how long it takes to heal. And this is from the doctors, not from Dan Campbell, not from Brad Holmes. And that's what I was going by. And they were saying more than likely he will be back by training camp. That's different. I'm not talking about Dan Campbell up there going, oh, he could be back this week. And then, nope, not going to do it.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, they'd be waiting all the way to week 11 to put him on that.
JB, are you going to Allen Park?
I'm going to do it as soon as they announce when the tickets are able to be getting for the free day. I'm going to get on and get in line early because I'm not missing it this year. Frank was, we know that he was supposed to be a starter, and that's why he specifically said, I will not get caught with my pants down again when he was asked about Decker in that end of season presser. And he's not. I still think we might draft a tackle or a center this draft, or both even, if a decent one is there in round 4 or later. I think that's going to happen.
Jones.
Yeah, I don't know if Logan Jones falls that far. He's probably the second or third best center, even in ranking.
Yeah. Oh, oof.
All right. Will, how can people get a hold of you?
Oh,
Oh,
I'm messing. Instagram, WVogs18. Or no, just WVogs, WVOGS. I do sports, I do comic content, and I post videos on sports introductions when I go to their games. I film the introduction because it's kind of cool to film those, and they get a bunch of views. And then I'm here on most Wednesdays and most Fridays.
So we're going to do the same thing we do all the time. The week before the draft, that Wednesday, that NFL Roundtable Talks is Mockapalooza. That means do your draft homework, boys. And we are going to do a mock draft where all of us get to pick for our teams.
Cool. I'm down.
And the Lions fans, we do it as a consensus vote, not one at a time. I don't like doing that to people. I'd like to say, okay, do we want to do this? Do we want to take the trade? And we're going to do one with trades, one without trades. Because if you just do it, if you do it just allowing it all the time, somebody's like, oh, I really like that trade when you've got a guy you want right there.
I'm really hoping I don't work during Mockapalooza. If not, then I'm going to trade my shift to someone who would probably take it.
There's only 4 of us here. That's why that's just part of the background there, Bubba.
What is it?
he still thinks there's 5 of us there. Oh, he's just being funny.
Yeah,
I see
he's
that.
being funny. He goes,
Love his
Moxie
dunce.
Daddy, I didn't get to say it at noontime because of a mean fart lady that belonged on the cover of
God.
Unplayboy was arguing with me about the ingredients of our soup at Dolly dinner shows.
That's hilarious. JB,
And
I got a
Yinzer, you're more
question
than
for you.
welcome to be a part of it. But WVogs 18, that's his channel. Check him out there.
Yep. JB, I'll ask you after the show. I have a question for you.
Okay. BA, how do people get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me at beastrilla@gmail.com. You can also get a hold of me on the network, which is the McGrath Podcast Network at gmail.com. And we got, our various shows. We got a couple new shows. One with Sonia being, because she's going through law school, so she's trying to she's not giving legal advice. She's just advising. I'll put it to you that way. And we got a movie show on there now. We review movies. So,
for right now, because we don't know the status of Ennis Rakestraw, but right now I got Roger McCreary as our fourth corner on the roster.
Yeah,
I think he'd be a good slot.
He's more of a slot. He'll either slot, and then right now the slot in the current depth chart that I looked up, and I'm going to go. Oh, I took it out of there. Damn it! I had it in my notes and then I forgot. Why'd they remove it? Oh well. Anyways, you got quarterbacks right now is Goff and Teddy Bridgewater. In the running back room, you have Gibbs, then it's Pacheco, then the running back 3 is up in the air, whether it'll be Vaki or Sailors. Both of them have time and doing it. A chokehold is a good way to get a hold of B. Yeah, nobody does like doing chokeholds around here because some people like to do it as a chicken. I respect the network and the hard work you do, BA. Always good to see you, brother. But then at the wide receiver, and this is the way I got it penciled in right now. Your 1 is Amon-Ra, your 2 is JMO, your 3 is Tesla, 4 is Dortch, then Kennedy, and then Dominique Lovett, because Jackson Meeks never saw the field. So I think that's the way it's going to fall down, whereas Lovett was actually returning kicks towards the end of the season. I think you might see him and Dortch back there together, which that wouldn't bother me at all. Or Sailor splashed in there, or Vaki, because they've all done decent in the return game. At punt return, Tom Kennedy was actually good on kick and punt returns last year when Leaf was out. So you got all sorts of things you can do at the punt return game. I think Dortch leads that, though, because he's averaging 8.9 yards per return in his career. He's doing great for a guy that was a UDFA and almost had to, basically make it as a walk-on that preseason to get signed to a roster. 8 years in the league now, I think that's what they said. And he came out when he was 22, so I think he's 29, turning 30. I am starting a GoFundMe page to raise money to allow me to pay for advertising on Jamie's forehead. My people are in negotiation with people for a price, but I need help. Forehead support. It's a running joke now. Every show that Jamie's on, he comes in and says that.
Jamie, you could get some shiner, like bowling ball shiner, and put on your forehead.
Jamie, without saying goodbye at the end, go ahead and give your outro. I cut it off about 15 seconds for you. So now it might be 1 minute, 45 seconds instead of 2.
Okay. So you guys can follow me, yours truly, at Bill's Chat 1 at Bill's Mafia Chat, and also at Jamie Malloy, the unbiased journalist, at DJ Dog Tags on Twitter, X, BuffaloDown.com, and theforkball.com, where I write about everything sports. You could also catch me every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. I'm driving to the Top Productions as Joe Dalio, and I just started last night the premiere of season 3 of the Subway Conversation Show, where we discuss everything Mets, Yankees, and all the news around the MLB. So, and then an hour later, 9 o'clock, maybe you could catch me, Jeremy, Adam, Marcus, and all the boys. I drive to the Top Productions at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time for open sports night. And then every Wednesday night here on the Huddle Sports Network, you can catch Jeremy, Ken, B.A., Jeremy B, and the crew.
Yo, you forgot me. I feel horrible now.
Will at 9. Will too at at
Thank you.
9:30 p.m. Eastern time on the Huddle Sports Network. NFL Roundtable talks every Wednesday night, so you can catch me on that. And thank you guys very much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, comment, ring the bell for notifications, and for more. And I also forgot, I'll also be on this channel again Saturday night
Saturdays.
at 9 p.m. for baseball roundtable talks on the same network. So for more NFL and MLB roundtable talk news and everything Detroit sports now, you could catch us on Roku TV, Amazon TV, Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. And from all of us here at Driving to the not Driving to Sports, at the Huddle Sports Network, I'm Jamie Malloy, and this has been another episode of NFL Roundtable Talks only on the Huddle Sports Network. We'll see you next week, everybody. Good night.
And don't forget, you can catch me 10 times a week live on my channel, because even when I'm a guest, I actually put it on my channel anyways. So you see my face at least 6 days a week. But for all of us here, Will, Jamie, BA, let's not exclude Ken, Kitty Ken, Megan Goldtrager, Joseph Jones, Michael Johnson. I love all of you guys. Thank you for joining us. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before, because that's the only way to make the world a better place. Unless you're talking about a rival fan base, then fuck them.
Fuck 'em.
Fuck them.
Turn it up, it's that time again. Jeremy B. Lyons, he's your best friend. Every weekday, Evan, you know the vibe. He's shouting one ride with that rocket drive. Rolling up the scene, light up that fire. Jeremy's in the booth, taking us higher. With a grin and a laugh, he's got the crowd in a blaze. Smoking out the haters in a rock star haze. The stories that inspire and riffs that will ignite. When one pride echoes, everything feels right. Jeremy Beelan, every day at 11. Yelling one B right like we're in rock heaven.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.